Well, China's policy on censorship, rights and free speech will no doubt be an issue at Davos this year, but even more pressing questions will be asked about China's surging economy and what to do about emerging asset bubbles. Now, for more on this, we're joined by Vail. He is Chief Global Strategist at Nikko Asset Management. Good morning to you, Mr. Vail. Thanks so much for joining us. So, is China's economy overheating, and does the government need to do more than it's doing right now?
Well, it's caught a lot of people by surprise over the last week or so in terms of the aggressive tightening measures that they've used. But yes, they've got more to do. Hopefully they'll be doing a little bit more slowly going forward, because it has caused quite a lot of volatility in the markets.
Well, you just referred to market sentiment, which of course has taken a sharp turn, partly down to China's moves to tighten. But these policy tweaks that China is engaging in aren't going to have a huge impact on global growth. So why such a sharp reaction?
Well, it did surprise people. I mean, there were plenty of people out there saying that China was too scared to tighten and that this bubble would keep going on and on. And when they did tighten, it did slow down market sentiment in terms of how China would contribute to global growth. China is no doubt the biggest contributor of global growth in the world these days, and any sort of asset deflation would cause major effects on the global economy.
Now, a lot has changed in the world since the political and business elite gathered in Davos last year. And one of the things they were talking about last year, of course, was the global imbalances that helped to trigger the recession. Where are we 1 year from now on those imbalances?
Well, China's trade and current account surplus has been falling quite a bit as the U.S. trade deficit has been shrinking as well. So there's been a good bit of rebalancing around the world, not only in those two countries, but also in some of the countries around the world that were the worst offenders in terms of large current account deficits. They've narrowed them down dramatically, like most of Eastern Europe. So there's been some great progress towards global rebalancing, and China's insistence to move towards more consumption, personal consumption, is a good trend as well, such that imports in China will continue to grow.
How about China's influence in Davos versus a year ago?
Well, I'm not a Davos guy, so I don't really know what happens there, but it still is pretty much a Western-oriented club. And I think they need to realize that China, you don't have to bow to them, but it's best to realize that they have tremendous influence these days, and to see if there's areas of compromise that can be reached such that the imbalances don't grow any worse. And, you know, we've been worried about, people have been worried about China being sort of the elephant in the room for the last 10 years. And for the most part, they've cooperated quite well on the global scene. They've still got a lot of growing up to do to reach Western standards and things like intellectual property rights and whatnot. But basically, they've been a decent member of the global economic club, if you could call it that.
Thanks so much. Vail there from Nikko Asset Management. Thanks for joining us.